You want to mark it? Yep. We Like Dota, episode 37, starts now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to We Like Dota. This is We Like Dota, the internet's casual Dota 2 podcast. I'm Brian Sabone-Yinger, and joining me on this wonderful fall afternoon is none other than Jared Clyde Frog Pedersen.
Hi, Brian. How's it going today?
Just fantastic, Jared.
Good.
It's kind of a miracle that we're recording today.
It's always a miracle. Life is a miracle.
It
Brian.
really is a miracle. If I'm being honest, I don't know how this thing gets recorded every week.
Yeah, I have no understanding of actual audio interfaces, how it happens. I know what buttons to push, but I don't know how it physically happens.
Yeah, it was a little rough. We had some scheduling changes today on my part. It's all on me. It's always my fault.
It's not always your fault, but when things happen that you can't control, well, you can control because you realize, well, whatever. Yeah, it's always your fault, Brian.
Yeah, Ben's out because in-laws.
Right.
I think Ben's been a little stressed out.
He's been a little
weekend.
stressed.
Yeah,
but,
with the in-laws.
But that's pretty much Ben's MO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Ben that you see on the show is a little more ratcheted than the real Ben, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close.
He likes to say he's got this persona, but it's
pretty
close.
real.
Yeah, it's pretty real. Yeah. All right. Anyway, enough about us. Let's talk about Dota.
Sure.
Okay, so we have friend of the show, Cheeks a Flappin'.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't even say friend of the show.
Contributor.
I'd say contributor, confidant, teammate, producer, Cheeks a Flappin'.
Executive producer.
Yeah. So Cheeks, tell us who'd you play this week?
Who'd I play this week? Well, just before the show started, I tried out some Omni Knight because I've tried Omni Knight in the past, but I don't ever think I really got it.
Mm-hmm.
You're a man.
Oh, yeah.
But earlier this week, I did play with the new Sven, with the Ags. I tried an Ag Sven out, and it was totally sweet with the damage aura with his ult. With the Ags, so it was like we're cutting through fools, like cutting through butter. It was great.
Cutting through fools.
Hot knives through butter, I guess I should say. But I had an Omni Knight with me who was constantly just, purification bombing the dudes around me and totally like setting me up with the repel and everything. So I was like, I'm going to try that because that seemed pretty cool. So I was laning with a Spirit Breaker and he would like run in and charge and be low on health. And I'd just go ahead and do that. And I got a couple kills off like that. And there's also a Pudge who'd hook guys in and be hurting himself. So I just heal him back up in damage. And it was lots of fun. There would be duels with because there was a Legion commander on the other team, and they'd get in a duel, and then I'd wait till our guy was low, and then just totally bomb him and destroy the Legion commander.
Yeah,
it was pretty satisfying.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Pretty satisfying. And then of course I've been playing some IO.
So wait, did you win the match as Omni Knight? It sounds like you did.
Yeah, that one was totally won that one. It was very satisfying.
Sometimes with the repel though, you got to be careful with that because sometimes you can use it, and if you need to purify somebody or use some sort of other magic thing on them.
Yeah, you could screw yourself pretty easily.
You can, yeah.
Exactly. Well, I thought about that. I was mindful. I was mindful enough.
I generally am not.
I was like, wait a minute. If this works like a BKB, then I'm probably not going to be able to cast the purity. What is it? Purification? Is that the name of the thing?
Purify. Or no?
Yeah,
Purify. Yeah.
Okay, it's purification.
It's probably a noun.
The dinging one.
Purify.
The dingy one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that bell sound. That's pretty great.
Yeah, the one where he says, "Be healed."
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or,
and so I played some of that.
Harm. That's one of my favorites.
So you also played some IO on our
yes
on the Whispering with Cheeks segment?
Yes. I think we finally won a match on that. So I think we're 1 and 2 for matches.
Great.
Yeah. You supported Jared's Tiny to victory.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Correct? You played Tiny, is that right?
Yeah. I definitely felt an athletic supporter for sure. Like
yes.
the jockstrap.
Yes.
I was supported.
That's good.
Oh,
I'm
it's
happy
like-
you felt supported.
Like a magical jelly jellyfish jockstrapper thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Just beautiful
Right.
on a giant rock man.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you played this week?
I've been playing Hearthstone. I've been, trying to do Hearthstone things with that and trying a couple different decks. I did pretty well last season. I got my highest in ranked play, which is 16, which is not super high, but it's pretty good for me.
Yeah.
With a tempo mage deck using a lot of the Curse of Naxxramas cards and doing lots of death rattle stuff and injuring my own allies and stuff like that. So that was fun. And then inexplicably playing Destiny. I don't know why. It's the whole grown men playing dolls thing because I'm just trying to make my guy look cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Can I ask
Beyond
you
that.
a question?
Yeah.
What's the deal with this treasure cave in Destiny I keep hearing about?
Oh, well, the treasure cave was patched out, unfortunately.
Oh.
But there was one cave in a specific part of the map where the respawn was set up for like every 6 seconds. So you could just sit outside that cave just at a good distance and then just snipe bad guys, and then they'd all die, and then they'd all come back to life in about 5 seconds. Then just keep sniping that. Do that for about an hour, then go in and collect, hopefully, some decent loot.
Wow.
So it was pretty great.
Yeah. That sounds like it's a good thing that they patched that out.
Yeah, it sounds pretty satisfying.
Exactly. Yeah, it was pretty satisfying to sit and looking at a hole. I tried to do it with Ben, but he didn't understand that he was supposed to not be close to the hole. So I kept the little mic thing that comes with the PS4 doesn't work great. So I kept squatting up and down, doing the Halo teabag animation, and then shooting at the ground where he should be standing, but then he'd just point back at me and dance. So that wasn't working at all.
I'm sure Ben was like, Cheeks is trying to say hello to me. I'm going to squat back.
I'll teabag back.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Okay.
Good times. Good times.
Hey, I have also had a little bit of a renewed interest in Hearthstone. I finished up the Arachnid Quarter in Naxxramas, and I decided I needed to just go ahead and make my own deck. I hadn't been using my own deck, and the best cards that I had were hunter cards, and so I put a little hunter deck together.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of banks a little bit on Unleash the Hounds or Release the Hounds.
Oh yeah. Well, that's how all hunter decks pretty much
right.
bank.
Exactly. I wouldn't say it banks on it, but it's pretty sweet if I can get
That's
it.
when it gets rolling.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you get that starving buzzard with the Unleash the Hounds, then that was the combo. But then starving buzzard just got nerfed, so it's now 5 mana, and then you get a 3/2 character for 5 mana.
Oh, that's
with
nice.
that special card draw ability. I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes it so you can't do that totally sweet combo where you just drop that and then get all the cards in the world.
Right. But yeah, I made it to rank 24. Leper gnome, I believe, is what the rank is called. I'm no longer an anchored chicken.
Yes.
I'm a leper gnome now.
Working your way up.
Yep.
And if you get to level 20, you get a sweet card back at the end of the season.
Oh. Okay.
This season, it's a cool looking sort of jack-o'-lantern sort of Halloween-y type card back.
Okay. Good. Okay. Yeah. Sorry to hijack you there. Is there anything else that you've been playing?
No, that's pretty much it. I got Shadows of Mordor, but I've only played a little bit, and apparently the orc captains that I've lost to have been invading Ben's game and making his life harder, which is kind of cool. I didn't know it did that.
Yeah,
so.
If you could make Ben's life a little bit harder,
that would be better for all of us.
That's what I try and do.
Yeah. Okay, great. Cheeks, we'll see you at the end of the show with chatting with Cheeks.
Yes, we got some folks here already, so here we go.
Okay.
Let's chat.
All right,
Godspeed,
throw
sir.
some peanuts at those guys, and we'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk to you in a bit. Jared, what have you been playing?
Well, I did get a chance to play a little bit, as we were saying. I got a chance to play with Whispering with Cheeks.
Yeah.
And we wanted to play a little IO and Tiny because that seems to be the go-to kind of duo. Mm-hmm. First game went horrible.
It was a little rough.
It was bad.
I think I was on Ogre Magi, right?
I think so.
That was the first time I'd ever played Ogre Magi.
Yeah, it was a rough game.
Yeah.
But second game, we dominated the world.
Yes, we did. Yeah, I played. I remember playing Bristleback.
Yeah, I think that was the
in that
Bristleback
match.
game.
And that
yeah,
was great. I feel like we had good timing.
Yeah.
Because Bristleback kind of is like a mid-game hero.
Yeah, and that was exactly it. I think that that we hit good timing windows where you got enough you created enough space early game for me to kind of get up. I always like to I've been experimenting with Tiny building a Mask of Madness first.
Okay.
And then going into Ags after that. And the combination of that and the overcharge from from IO was just unreal.
It was pretty nice.
It was insane.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
But otherwise, for our league game, I played an Alchemist terribly.
Oh, it was
a rough game.
I believe the game was pretty much over about 2 minutes into the match.
No, it was we lost 2 heroes at the rune, at the 0-minute rune, and I think that's where the game was lost.
Wait, we lost 2 heroes?
Yeah, Ben and Cheeks both died.
When the runes spawned.
Yeah, bottom rune spawn.
That's at 0
minutes.
0 minutes, 0 seconds.
Yeah, check out that VOD. Last time I was nice enough to do our do the casting for that one for us.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how that went.
I don't have the mental fortitude and I don't have my druthers about me quite yet to watch that.
Yeah. We do need to go back and watch it as a team and critique ourselves.
Yeah. So hats off to somebody and his team.
Absolutely.
Too easy for Arteezy. I mean, they just outplayed the heck out of us. They're a team that
100%.
way beyond us as far as skill goes.
But it was a lot of fun, and we had some good laughs, and honestly, that's what this is all about.
Yeah, we had fun, and I remember laning against a Doom. Who I think he had more denies than I had last hits.
That's a good possibility.
I'm starting to get the shakes right now just thinking about it.
And you were on a ranged hero.
Was I? Who was I on?
Venomancer.
Oh, that's right. That's embarrassing.
That is embarrassing, man.
Yeah.
So
anything else, Jared?
I think after that I played a Kunkka. That one we played a match after our matches.
Yeah, that's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Sabone and Clyde Frog play Bane and Kunkka.
That was a lot of fun.
That match gets a little PG-13.
Yeah.
We got a little blue in that match.
Well, you actually hear me when I'm playing, and that's not something that every young ear should hear.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to be a little colorful.
Yeah, it's totally fine. We get a little blue. We blew off a little steam after we had played our match and casted, and we dipped into the old a little bit.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, some of Canada's finest whiskey.
Right.
It was a good time.
So what about yourself, Brian? You talking about a little bit of Hearthstone that you've been playing?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've already been talking about myself as you guys have been doing your segments.
Well, it's you, so yeah.
Right. Yeah, well, I played Ogre Magi, which I think I see the potential in him, but
God, he's good right now.
Yeah, I need to figure it out. So I'm excited to play him some more because he starts with 7 armor.
Yeah, and a base regen of 2.5 HP.
Oh my goodness!
So I mean, that's
a ring of regen, right?
I believe
I'm not
it's
sure.
It's close, yeah.
So there's that. What else did I play, Jared? I played. Been playing some Dazzle. Love Dazzle. Hero of the week, by the way, Dazzle.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. Played some Bristleback, some Venomancer. Yeah, it's been a rough week for me in Dota, if I'm being honest.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Been playing some more ranked, which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good. Been having fun with that.
Absolutely. But that usually does cause more losing.
Generally, yeah. Gabe knows when you're doing ranked.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really about it. As I said, I've been playing some Hearthstone, which is always good. Yeah, I think that's about it, Jared.
Well, very good. Very good.
All right, so moving on. So we're going to kind of pick up where we left off last week.
Yeah, we're going to do some more 6.82 kind of talk and analysis.
Yeah. Well, first, Jared, let me ask you this. How has, since last week, 6.82B has hit? Is that correct? Or did we have 6.82B last week at this time?
No, I think we did.
Okay.
We had already had the adjustments to the gold bounties.
Yeah.
Had already come through.
Do you well, since we've had several days with the new patch, what are your current impressions?
I think it's done a good job, even more so balancing the game.
Yeah.
Making it more more fun because you can actually mount comebacks. I mean, you could do it before, but it was much more difficult.
Yeah.
And so I think having that feeling of never being out of the game, no matter how bad it gets, is a good feeling.
It's a slim chance.
Well, yes,
but not as slim as it used to be.
Right. Yeah. It's gone from like a 1% to like maybe 7%.
Yes.
So I'd say less than 10, but more than 5.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying the patch as well. I think they've found a pretty decent spot with the gold bounties.
Yeah. I mean, the experience bounties is still really high. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the gold bounties are realistic.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and I think we were kind of talking about this when we played Bane and Kunkka. I feel like it's gotten easier to play support and harder to play carry.
In some respects.
In some respects, yeah. I think gold is a little bit more plentiful now, and the change to TP scrolls, the cost for that, helped a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I think for carries, I feel like you really need to be more careful and more calculated with your
I would agree with
movement
that.
late game. You can't just YOLO across the river and do whatever.
Yeah.
You need to not be an idiot.
Right, yeah. Much more careful.
Right.
But we'll get into a little bit more of that later on in the segment here.
Yes.
So
you want to talk about these items, Jared?
Yeah, let's move into the items. Let's move into the items.
Okay, so these are item changes that we thought were notable.
Yeah, not everything again.
Yeah.
That's not really our goal, is to discuss every change.
Yeah.
We're just kind of highlighting things that we think are good.
Yeah, so the first one here, is the change to Black King Bar, or BKB.
Right. And again, this is one of the things that you were talking about, making the carries less...
harder to play.
Yeah, harder to play.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the minimum spell immunity duration was increased from 4 to 5 seconds.
Right.
But along with that, the spell immunity duration and cooldown for BKB are now tied to the hero instead of the item. So basically, effectively what this does is if you get down to the minimum cooldown on BKB, you can't just buy a new one to refresh the cooldown.
Yeah, there's no refresh.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this, and I actually really like this change because I think it puts more of a cap to how long these games can go.
I would agree with that, yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like most of my matches are taking somewhere between 40 and 50 minutes these days.
Yeah, I'd say average time is decreased by about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
Unless you're playing Noobs Ass Noobs in the WLDL.
Yeah.
Then it's down to like 20 to 25.
Average match time, 15 minutes.
Right.
We could have GG'd out about 15 minutes of that game.
Yeah, easy.
2 minutes.
So yeah, well, Jared, tell me what you think about this. I kind of already let you know what I think.
I tend to agree with what you're talking about. I think that it's a change that is pretty significant.
Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, I really like it because, again, like you were saying, it places more of an importance now on the usage of these BKBs.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, it just makes it more important. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just don't know how to explain it or any other way.
Do you think, I feel like I've already asked you this, do you think this makes Lincoln Sphere more, not viable, but more attractive?
In some respects, but Lincoln Sphere got some changes too.
Yeah, and it doesn't block nearly as much as BKB does.
Right. Yeah. So, but along with that, you get a lot more stats with Lincoln Sphere.
That's true.
So, I mean, it all depends on the hero. It definitely depends on the hero. I mean, if you're playing a stats-based hero like Naga Siren,
right,
Terrorblade, Medusa, any one of those that are like those real stat-based or illusion-based heroes, Lincoln Sphere is always more attractive just because it gives all the flat stats around.
That's true. That's a good point.
But at the same time, BKB is one of those things,
Yeah. I agree. It is one of those things, Jared.
It is. It is.
Okay, Blink Dagger, the gold cost was increased from $21.50 to $22.50.
Yeah, to keep up in that thing, man.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, so it just makes it, delays your Blink Dagger for another
minute.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
less than a minute. But at the same time, I mean...
It's like a creep wave.
Yeah, exactly.
A little under a creep wave.
But yeah.
Bloodstone now requires a soul ring and an 800 gold recipe instead of perseverance. So it says 1600 versus 1750 total gold. So does that mean it costs more now or it costs less now?
I think it costs less now.
Okay. And it no longer grants plus 10 damage. The other bonuses stay the same. So that means it probably costs less then.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I really like this change. One, because it's easier to assemble a bloodstone now.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't now buy a mana boot to disassemble it, which you did.
Apparently, I was never doing to begin with.
Yeah,
I am on my mic there. There we go.
But yeah, so it's just a change. I mean,
yeah,
when it comes down to it.
Yeah, I feel like a soul ring is more useful than the perseverance.
100%. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
The stats from perseverance were better, of course.
Yeah,
but I do find myself buying soul ring often on heroes that I would consider buying a bloodstone on before, and now it's even more attractive.
Absolutely,
for me to buy
100% agree with that. Like an Omni Knight. See,
Yeah,
that would be okay.
absolutely.
That'd be all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. A Soul Ring and Omni Knight is just it makes sense.
Yeah.
But now, being able to put that into a Bloodstone, oh yeah.
Oh, it makes so much sense.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Bottle, the gold cost was increased from 750 to 700.
You're gonna see this go up yet even more, in my opinion. In
I
the
think
next
so
couple
too.
Patches.
I think Bottle's so good right now.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah. And I have noticed, and I said this in one of the matches that we casted, I have noticed that the rune spots, early game, pre 15 minutes, so much action happening there.
Absolutely.
So many teams checking the rune spots and fighting over rune control.
We'll talk about that more in Brave New Meta, man.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Which is apparently a segment today. We're gonna do Brave New Meta today.
Yeah, absolutely. One of our new segments, along with patch analysis, is the Brave New Meta.
That's right.
But yeah, no, I think the you're going to see this increase even more, because I think the bottle it just was an item that always was very nice in my opinion, because there are only a couple things that can give you burst mana regen, and buying clarities just doesn't make any sense later or mid game.
I really, if I'm being honest, I kind of dislike clarities anyway.
Yeah, no, totally, I'm with you.
They take way too long to regen, and generally I feel like I can get by with a magic stick or a magic wand.
Right. But now this bottle is going to give you, an opportunity to,
Oh yeah.
you're going to see it as a support item, in my opinion, too, because you can use your bottle charges on other people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then have your supports just basically keep the runes.
Yeah.
So,
well, and a lot of times as a support, I feel like you're going back to base
more often.
Right. Or maybe not necessarily more often, but it's more of an option.
Right.
Yeah. You're not quite as heavily punished for going back to base as a core would be.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that more in Brave New Meta. Or maybe we already did. But the next item that received a big change is Butterfly.
Yeah.
Butterfly now has an active ability called Flutter.
Isn't that cute?
That is cute. Which can be cast to trade Butterfly's evasion for a 20% movement speed for 8 seconds.
Yeah, this is really nice. You can now use Butterfly as a chasing mechanic.
Yeah. Okay. I've got questions here, Jared. What's the deal with this?
Okay.
2, why was this implemented?
I can't tell you why it was implemented.
Perfect.
But I can tell you that I really like the change.
Okay.
It gives the Butterfly more versatility, because before it was just a really great stats item that gave you evasion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now you can, like I said, you can use it to chase.
Right.
It's great. And little side note, I was watching a game. Somebody bought 2 butterflies. I forget who it was.
Okay.
But if you use the active on one of them, it'll use both. So just putting that out there.
Okay.
Just putting that out there.
So is that to maybe use it more? Is that when you anticipate being offenses instead of defensive, if that makes sense.
In some respects, yeah. Or
okay,
use it like a drum charge, basically.
Right.
Well, no,
except you don't have to buy another recipe to refill the charges.
Exactly. So Ben will enjoy that. But yeah, so
it's just the worst use of gold ever.
Buying more drum charges?
Yes.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Oh my gosh. Ben.
But yeah, no, I really like this.
Yeah.
Actually.
I'm not sure what I think about it because
how can you not like it?
Well, yeah, that's true. It doesn't take anything away from the initial item. It's just giving you more flexibility.
More options.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a mana cost involved with that as well. There might be, but
yeah.
Yeah, I like this a lot, actually.
Okay. Next item is the new item, Crimson Guard.
Yeah.
New item that is formed from a Vanguard and a Buckler. I'm trying to open it up on my thing here.
I can see that.
Dota 2 Wiki. I've bought this a couple times on, I think I bought one on Bristleback and on Omni Knight at one point.
Yeah.
So it gives you an active called Guard, which we'll get to later. But it does give you a passive called Damage Block.
Damage Block.
The Damage Block, it works just like a shield does.
Yep.
Gives you an 80% chance to block, and if you're a melee hero, it gives you it blocks 40 damage, and if you're ranged, it blocks 20. And then it also gives you +2 strength, agility, and intellect, and then also +250 HP, +6 HP regen, +5 armor.
Oh yeah.
And it costs $3,850
total.
And the active on it is Guard. Grants nearby allied heroes a 100% chance to block 50 damage from each incoming attack, along with 2 armor, lasts 9 seconds.
That's awesome.
It is really nice.
It is really nice.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like each incoming physical attack it's gonna block 50 damage.
Yeah, especially usually
like against Meepo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, each one of those great. 5 Meepos hitting it, they're like pea shooters. And it's perfect.
It's been described as kind of basically like a pipe of insight for physical damage. Yeah, and
a little different, but works mostly the same.
That's pretty much about it. And I've mostly gotten this like in the mid game, and this thing is great.
Oh yeah,
game. It's even decent in the late game. I think
it really is. Yeah, it's not bad. It's never going to be bad,
right?
In my opinion, like the Vanguard by itself, kind of bad.
Yeah, it just doesn't scale well. You have to get that thing by like 14 or 15 minutes.
And then it's great for 12 minutes, and then
it falls off.
Yeah. So now you get even like an upgraded Vanguard, so it'll stick around for a while longer. But then you get this active that will really, really, make a difference.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it quite a bit. So it gets the stamp of approval from me. Jared.
Absolutely. What heroes would you build Crimson Guard on, you think?
Oh, that's a good question. I think your strength cores, it makes sense on a lot of those offlaners.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense on. And I also think like strength supports, it makes some sense on.
Sure.
Like I got one on Omni Knight and it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just tough because it is a significant amount of farm.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said 3,050, I think.
Yeah.
You said?
It's something to think about. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's an investment.
It is. A lot of these heroes that you used to buy mech on as a core, like Viper comes to mind instantly, or like Necrophos or something. You might consider building a Crimson Guard now.
Maybe. Mainly because the mechanism mana cost got upped significantly.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute. Diffusal Blade saw some reworking. The recipe cost was reduced from 850 to 700.
Yeah.
Agility bonus rebalance from 25 and 30 to 20 and 35.
Whoa. Okay.
So that's the level 2 Diffusal Blade now makes a little more sense.
Right. Yeah. Before it didn't really. I mean.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like a buy level 2 because you have extra gold.
Right.
But yeah.
The feedback on it is rebalanced from 20 and 36 to just a constant 25, no matter what level it is.
Okay.
Ethereal Blade now has a projectile.
Right.
And I believe...
And it can be disjointed.
It can be disjointed, right? Yeah. I was just going to ask you that.
Absolutely, it can be.
That's a pretty significant nerf.
Right. Well,
in my opinion.
and that's because of all the changes they did to Tinker, one, but then also like Morphling.
Yeah.
Morphling could just blow people up with an E-Blade. I mean, it was unreal. So it needed to have a little bit of change.
And the Ether Blast from Ethereal Blade now only turns the caster ethereal if they target themselves.
Right.
Which I always thought was a little bit of a strange interaction, because most people were buying that thing for the nuke.
Yeah, for the offensive ability.
Yeah. So I think probably what maybe happened with it is that initially maybe it was designed to go into the ethereal mode or whatever, and then the nuke was just a nice bonus along with it, maybe.
Right.
And then they figured out, most people are just using it for the nuke, so
yeah, we'll
just make life a little easier for you.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
And
I always thought that was a little weird myself too.
Yeah. Not that I don't ever play heroes that use.
Yeah, I've never bought an E-Blade.
Yeah. Okay. So as we were talking about earlier, Mechanism, the restore mana cost increased from 150 to 225.
Mm-hmm. This sucks.
Yeah. This sucks a lot. This is a pretty big nerf to support, I think.
Yeah, this definitely makes it a lot harder. I was my first game on 6.82 was on an Abaddon that I built a Mechanism on.
Right.
Twice in team fights, I didn't have the mana to do it. Where I would have prior. So it's definitely something you need to get used to.
Yeah. I think it's I'm still not sure what I think about it, because it is making me consider building other items. It's not, Mechanism isn't quite the you must buy one right off the bat.
No, I agree. Yeah, definitely.
So
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I think about it, Jared.
I wish they would have like at least upped the heal from it then. Mm-hmm. Like even from like 250 to 300 or something.
Yeah.
Something even slight just to make it more significant, but yeah. Mm-hmm. It's rough.
Yeah. Because that 75 mana, I mean, that's something else, that's a spell that you're not able to cast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or it could be almost all your mana pool. Like if you're a Tidehunter.
Yeah.
If you're a Tidehunter when you build a mech, I mean, you might have enough to ravage.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
And it's really only tough like in the mid game, and like once the laning phase starts to end like around 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because obviously once you get into the late game, mana becomes less of an issue.
Right, yeah.
But mech drops off by that time anyway.
Exactly. So. You might have 1,000, mana pool, but your mech doesn't mean crap anymore.
Right.
When, your PA's critting for 1,400.
Right.
So...
Yeah, and in other news, Town Portal Scroll, the gold cost for it was reduced from 135 to 100.
So now there's even less of an excuse for people not to be carrying one of these guys around. I always thought it was kind of weird that it was 135. Kind of how it was weird that the GG branch used to be 53 gold.
Yeah.
It just seemed really arbitrary and...
strange.
Yeah, just odd.
Yeah, I like this change a lot.
I do like even numbers a lot more than odd numbers.
Yeah.
So
it's a nice buff, right? It's a nice buff to supports, I think.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to rotate. It's a buff to countering the snowball strategy.
Right, yeah.
So
it makes movement around a lot easier. I mean, 35 gold isn't a lot, but I mean, early on in the game, 35 gold can mean... Well, now the difference between having a TP scroll and not.
I do find myself with my TP scroll on cooldown more often.
Yeah, I have noticed that actually. Mm-hmm.
So you still need to be smart about your movement.
You do.
Don't be an idiot about it.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, Jared. So let's move on to this new segment. It's called Brave New Meta.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
So we always joke around because I have a tendency to call things sometimes that just make absolutely no sense.
No, that's not true.
Well,
you think about it. They're educated guesses.
They are educated guesses, but so I don't know. We just kind of thought it would be kind of a fun little thing to.
You called the Jakiro meta like a year in advance.
Not a year in advance, but
close to it.
Oh,
like 8 months.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he got another buff, and it was like everybody figured it out. And it's like, okay, great.
So what are your predictions here?
Number one, we kind of talked about it earlier, but I think the rune contesting is going to be huge.
Which we're already starting to see.
Yeah. You're going to see a lot more first bloods happen at the runes. Kind of what happened to us in our match.
Yes.
You know, you might have somebody smoked up on a hill, go to grab a rune, and you're going to see first blood a lot more at that rune spot. And I think that even moving forward, it's going to be like an engagement point. Kind of how Roshan used to be, how it spawned every minute.
Yeah.
Every time at 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, you know, teams knew exactly when it was going to happen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so I think that early on in the game, you're going to see these runes kind of be like that. Not obviously to that extent, because late game Roshan is just, it means a lot more than, you know, a late game rune. But an early game rune can mean a lot.
I don't know. You get a haste rune or a double damage.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
In the late game, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you might not have the map control to get to that.
Right.
Whereas, I just think that you're gonna see that early on. You're gonna see those runes be really important and kind of hot spots.
Yeah. We kind of talked about bottle a bit. Tell me something about that. You mentioned bottle on support.
I think, you might see a lot more supports by an earlier bottle.
Yeah.
To help out in lane, help their carries out. You know.
Yeah, that's true. I almost want to buy bottle instead of like an urn now.
Right. Yeah, because you're also gonna be supplying mana.
Yeah.
And so,
assuming you can get the rune.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, the difference in that the bounty rune for supports is going to be very important early game, because if you're leaving lane to, you know, go grab that, you know, you're going to give your carry more experience, you know, solo experience.
Yeah.
So I think that it's going to be something that you see more often.
I do like the addition.
You might see 2-3 bottles on a team.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I do like seeing the addition of the bounty rune. I like that thing.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's usually if I see it, I just go ahead and pick it up. But if I think if I'm in a match with our team, I think it makes sense to ask where we want that to be going.
Right.
I think it does make the most sense to put it on supports though, because I don't think it's good enough for a core who does not have a bottle to go get it.
Right, I agree with that. Yeah. Leaving lane to get that rune for a core isn't necessarily all that great.
I think
unless it's someone solo off lane that's getting zoned really hard.
Yeah,
like that makes sense.
Yeah, I think if you're a core and you go get it and you miss a creep wave because of it, or you know something like that,
that's a bad decision.
You break even, I think.
I don't think, not experience wise.
Okay, yeah, but
well, depending on when it is, because it does scale.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Yeah, there could be worse decisions to make in the world for sure.
Yeah, so as a support, I like it.
No, absolutely.
It's nice.
Absolutely. Another thing that we kind of touched on is I think you're going to see a lot. While we're going to see more comebacks, I don't think that they're going to be as long of games.
Right.
So I think that your long games even now are going to be 65 minutes, whereas, you know, before it might have been 75 minutes.
How long? Remember that match that I was talking about last week that I played as Omni Knight?
Yeah, it was 73 minutes. I looked at the Dota buff.
Oh my gosh, that was painful.
And it looked painful.
It was not fun. Yeah. It just took way too long. As Omni Knight, you can kind of farm up the jungle, but you're not super great at it.
Right.
And yeah, I was playing like a support Omni Knight, and everyone else, it was just such a passive game, and everyone just wanted to farm up, and I've never seen anything like it in pub matches. It was just very strange.
Super passive.
Yeah, it was very strange. We were like 50 minutes into the game, and there were still tier 2s on the map.
Oh, no, that's terrible.
It was weird. So, yeah, I totally agree with what you just said, but I have a match that kind of disproves that.
Okay, right.
But obviously, you know, that's
there's always going to be outliers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also think that you're going to see split push come back a little bit more.
Okay, why is this?
I had a really good thing in my brain of why.
Does it have to do with Lone Druid?
No, not necessarily. Not just Lone Druid. I think that your Nature's Prophet, your kind of global strat is going to kind of see a resurgence. I think that honestly, IO's in a decent place right now.
Okay.
I think anybody that could be semi-decent.
Expect to see more wins on Whispering with Cheeks.
I think that IO's win percentage is going to go up. Right. I really do. Okay. It's going to be above 35%.
Is it currently at 35% right now?
Something like that. Oh. No, but I think you could see it pop up to like 42, 44%. I really do.
That's respectable.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to be like the low tier pick anymore.
We still leave that for Huskar and Pudge.
Right. But yeah, I just think that global idea is going to kind of come around.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more a la 6.77.
Okay.
Probably not that heavy, but I definitely think it's going to have a little bit of a comeback.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and I think I like that it's coming. It could potentially come back because I think there's more mechanisms in place to help you defend against it a little bit more.
Right.
The lower cost in TP scrolls being one of them.
Yeah.
You get less gold from towers now.
Right, that's true.
And then also you get that glyph refresh
at the tier 1. Yeah.
When a tier 1 dies. So I think I like the idea of split push coming back. I do. This is what I like about new metas is that for the next couple of months, really, I feel like almost any strategy is viable.
Well, absolutely. That's 100% true.
Which I enjoy.
But my last kind of thought and note I had was I think aura heroes are going to really be the strongest in this patch.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. So like, you Vengeful Spirit, Luna,
Drow,
Elder Titan. These guys, I think, are really going to be the ones that become the top tier picks.
Why is that?
Just because they can be super impactful with just levels. Mm-hmm. They don't necessarily need the items. And
yeah,
I think that passives are going to be, passive auras are really where it's at.
Yeah, because there's a lot of changes to where they don't get disabled now.
Right,
with like Chronosphere
or Doom.
And Doom.
Yep.
And I think that might be it, actually. But yeah, I agree with you. I think auras are going to be
where it's at.
They're the bee's knees. The cat's pajamas.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's kind of my thoughts early on. Bold predictions, if you will. Not really that bold, but
bold predictions in this brave new meta.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, Jared, let's move on to the Hero of the Week.
Sure thing.
Hero of the Week is quickly becoming one of my favorites.
The Dazzle.
Dazzle, yes. So Dazzle, well, let's talk about his role and then his lane.
Sure.
And yeah, I generally see him in the support role.
As he should be.
Yeah, I think I have seen him played as a core a couple of times, but I think it's more in like a cheesy kind of way.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, watch me play core Dazzle. You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, with anybody with enough farm can be a core.
Right. I think it was Draskell I saw playing a core Dazzle.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, he was listening to the Eagles or something like that on his stream. So, okay, let's talk about lanes for Dazzle here, Jared. Mm-hmm. Where do you like to see Dazzle?
Well, he's got a heal, so I always like to, if one of my supports have a heal, put him in the safe lane with my safe lane carry.
Yeah.
That kind of hard to carry, make sure that he stays alive. So honestly, that's where I see him. He's super effective in tri-lanes because of the Shadow Wave.
Yeah.
You know, being able to, or it's Shadow Wave, right?
Yeah, it's Shadow Wave. Shadow Wave!
Right.
As he says.
All of his spells kind of rhyme, so it kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Shadow Wave.
Shallow Grave.
Shallow Grave. And that's really about it.
Yeah, that's it.
Weave.
Yeah, rhymes.
Clearly rhymes.
Clearly. But yeah, so I don't know. That's just kind of what I...
Can you do him... Yeah, you said he's mostly more fit for a tri-lane, and I agree. He fits into a tri-lane very well. Mm-hmm. What about, like, solo off-lane, solo mid?
I mean, he
anything
could
like that?
do it, but I wouldn't
I mean, technically, anyone could do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
No, I don't think that's where he shines, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
But yeah, he could do it, absolutely.
Okay.
You could run a bad mid.
Yeah.
But it's not a good idea.
Well, Kyle got beat by a bad mid.
Yeah, but it was a one-on-one mid.
Yeah.
Like one of those solo mids.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about his abilities. And Jared, hashtag Brave New Meta here. I'm using Dota 2 Wiki, not my Dota 2 companion app.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because I always end up going there anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, we always wind up going, just look it up on Dota 2 Wiki. Okay, anyway. So Dazzle's Q is called Poison Touch, which does not rhyme with Shadow Grave or Shallow Grave.
Or Weave.
Or Weave. Casts a poisonous spell on an enemy unit, causing damage and slowness over time and eventual paralysis. Slow increases per level. So this has a range of 600, a set time of 3 seconds. So it kind of ticks away over the course of 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And it lasts for 10 seconds. And the damage is 14, 20, 26, and 32. Jared, I'm not a big fan of this. Can you kind of tell me what's going on here?
Well, it's basically a slow when
fair.
It comes down to it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it recently got nerfed. It used to also mini stun, which was nice.
It doesn't mini stun anymore?
No, I don't believe so.
Oh, that kind of stinks.
Yeah, because you could cancel TPs with it, but
right
now you can't. Honestly, it's one of those things that you can pretty much skip it now.
Yeah, I kind of do skip it. So
yeah, I mean it's all right.
Yeah, and at level 1, it slows the target by 33% for 3 seconds, which is it's okay, and it does 140 damage over the course of 10 seconds.
Right.
Level 2, slow the target by 33% for 2 seconds, then slow the target by 66% for 1 second at level 3.
Right.
Slow the target by 33% for 1 second, then slow the target by 66% for 1 second, and then slow the target by 100% for 1 second.
Right.
So at level 3, they're completely stopped after 2 seconds.
Well, no, they're slowed 100%.
Right, they're completely stopped. How can you have over 100%?
Movement slow? I have no idea.
Okay, very good, Jared. Okay. Back up with your numbers.
But now
here.
level 4, it actually does at the end of it. So you have to get that thing up to level 4 to be able to stop.
Well, yeah, and then you have to wait around for 2 seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
God.
So it's okay.
Yeah,
so,
you can level it at like level 9, 10,
yeah,
12, and 13 and be all right.
Right. After 3 seconds, the damage occurs as 8 damage ticks over 7 seconds. Wait, what? After 3 seconds, damage occurs... Oh, so the damage doesn't kick in until 3 seconds in?
Must not, yeah.
Okay. So it doesn't do... Okay, so it deals a total of 112, 160, 208, and 256 damage.
Which is pretty okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
Physical damage, it's not magical damage.
Yeah.
But...
Which is okay. So,
yeah.
I don't know. If you're asking me, I think this is Dazzle's weakest spell.
It is now, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, his W is called Shallow Grave. An ally is blessed with Shallow Grave, no matter how close to death, cannot die under its protection. So the duration is 5 seconds, and as you buff it, it increases the range that you can cast it from with a max range of 1,000 at level 4.
Which is pretty okay.
And it brings the cooldown from 60, 45, 30 to 15 seconds, which is great.
That's nuts.
And it also reduces the mana cost slightly.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the I think his... the one that you max by 7.
Yeah. So a couple notes here. HP cannot go below 1 while under the effects of Shallow Grave.
Perfect.
Axe's Culling Blade, which is its ultimate, ignores the effect of Shallow Grave, but the shatter damage of Ice Blast will not kill a hero affected by this.
Well, that's nice.
And does not prevent dying via Techie's Suicide Squad or Bloodstone's Pocket Suicide.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you're using Bloodstone's Pocket Suicide, you want to
then you're purposely dying.
Yes, you're wanting to suicide.
Right.
So yeah, I think this is one of his strongest abilities.
I would definitely agree.
Yeah, so what do you usually use this thing for, Jared? I know you play Dazzle from time to time.
Saving my my carry's butt, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, you want to save this, especially early on the levels, because the cooldown does come down. But that level 1 has a pretty short range and a pretty high cooldown.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a legit skill.
Yeah.
Also, mana cost decreases.
Yeah, it goes
from 140 to 110.
Yeah, I was looking at the wrong ability.
That's weird.
That's not a lot, but it's
right.
decent.
But I mean, as you're getting more levels, you're getting more mana.
Yeah. This is part of the reason why I think
I like that a lot.
Dazzle fits into a tri-lane so well is Shallow Grave, because
and Shadow Wave.
If somebody screws up,
totally,
you can really it really helps you correct a lot of bad play positionally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like it quite
absolutely. It can aid in diving as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you really want to push that tower.
You want to dive behind that tier 1.
Right. Okay. His E is Shadow Wave.
Right.
Shadow Wave heals several allies, which in turn causes damage equal to their healing in a small area around them.
Yeah.
Dazzle is always healed by Shadow Wave, and it does not count towards the number of targets. So the range on this is 900. The damage radius is 185, which
so pretty short. Yeah. Melee attack range is like 160, I think. Something like that.
Something like that.
135, something along those lines.
Bounce radius is 475. The number of targets that it can heal changes depending on what level it is. It goes from 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the damage in the heal is 80, 100, 120, and 140.
Right.
So that's not Omni Knight level, but you're healing more people.
Here's the thing, though. If you have that at max level, it can deal a total of 840 damage, Brian.
Physical damage.
Yeah, but still, I realize it's not pure damage.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just pointing
reduced
that
by
out.
your armor is still going to be more than 360 pure damage.
Oh, yeah. No, it's good. I mean, even at level 1, if you're getting the max number of targets out of this thing, you're doing, what's 80 times 3?
240.
240 damage and healing.
Right. I mean, they have to be within that radius.
Yeah, assuming you're, hitting the max bounces and, there's somebody standing by.
Within that for each of the bounces and all that stuff. You see this a lot of times in combination with an old school kind of combo is Shadow Demon. So you do your disruption, and then you go right into the Shadow Wave.
Yeah.
So that that person that's right in the middle of the disruption, as soon as they come out, get hit by all the illusions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice.
So the cooldown for this is 12, 10, 8, and 6 seconds, which I think even 12 seconds is pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
Mana cost is 80, 90, 100, and 110. A few notes here on Dota 2 Wiki. Prioritizes allied heroes over creeps.
Well, that's nice.
Which I like. If enemies are near multiple allied units affected by Shadow Wave, they can take multiple instances of the damage. Can deal a maximum of 240, 400, 600, and an unprecedented 840 damage at max level. Excludes Dazzle as a source of damage.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's good. Okay, let's talk about his ultimate, Weave.
Yeah.
So this is the way that you cast this is it's kind of just like a big AoE that you just kind of select a spot on the ground.
And then he jumps and hits his staff on the ground.
Does he?
I think so.
Wow, that's cool.
He's like, ah.
I just see like the big flash from Weave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Applies a buff that increases the armor of allied units while decreasing the armor of enemy heroes in the target area over time.
Yeah.
Upgradable by Ag's Scepter.
Of course.
So the range is 2,000 on this. The radius is 575. The armor per second is 0.751 or 1.25, depending on the level, and the duration is 24 seconds.
Jeez and pizza.
Yeah, so the Ag's upgrade on this increases the radius to 775 and the armor per second to 1.75. And let's see here. Notes, places a buff on units, so entering or leaving the area of effect of the cast has no effect. Which I was confused about when we first started playing.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you had to explain this to me. You said it just places a buff on you. I thought I had to fight within that area that was marked on the ground.
That doesn't make any sense. You have a little shield over your head.
Look, Jared, I can't explain it. That's just what I thought, okay? Oh, I just hit my mic.
Jeez,
dang it.
Yeah.
We gotta get those little mic stands that just sit on the desk.
Yeah, we really do.
That'd be nice. Okay. Increases or decreases the armor by a maximum of 18, 24, or 30, depending on what level you are.
And with the Ag Scepter, it goes up to 30, 36, and 42.
Oh, jeez.
Now, of note, the maximum armor or minimum armor that somebody can have is negative 25.
Okay.
So you can't go below minus 25, I believe is what it is.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, but at the same time, after 24 seconds, they're basically going to be at that maximum level.
Well, and at minus 42 armor, let's say you have Ag Scepter, there's probably a lot of armor additions that people, you got to chew through.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But even like a Drow that has, that's level 16 and has all that agility, which your armor comes off of agility.
Yeah. It's
still going to be near zero or
yeah.
below zero.
Yeah, this is a pretty wicked thing. If you got to be real strategic with this.
Yeah, and it's best if you can use it and wait for it to go for a little while.
Right.
To really maximize what's going on.
Yeah, this reminds me of a match where I was playing. It was you and I think it was our whole team. We were using like a heal strategy, and I was playing as Dazzle, and there was an Omni Knight on the other team. Mm-hmm. And you told me, and this worked out perfectly. Whenever Guardian Angel went off, we just pop weave.
Yep.
And just wait it out for 7 seconds or whatever it is.
Exactly.
And then we go in.
Yeah.
And we have all this extra armor.
Yep.
Guardian Angel's wearing off. They have not as much armor.
Right. It's perfect.
And you win.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So you try to disengage as much as possible and let this kind of sink in, and then you kick some butt.
Yeah, the cooldown on this is 40 seconds and 100 mana at all levels.
So it's super spammable. Mm-hmm. There's no reason you should not be using this.
Yeah,
as a Dazzle, you should pretty much always be using this.
You specifically told me that I do not use weave enough. Which you're totally right.
Yeah, it's super spammable. You want to be using this, even if you use it defensively.
Yeah.
As your team is getting ready to go into a team fight, hit it a couple seconds beforehand. Let that armor build up. It's it can be significant.
Totes, as the kids are saying these days.
Right.
Okay. So Jared, let's talk items on Dazzle.
Okay.
I think to start out with, of course, Courier and Wards is what you're going to be buying if you're a support.
Yep.
And then I think from there, depending on how mana hungry you are or what your situation is, clarities are good.
Yep.
But I prefer to try and just go for a magic stick if I'm laning against somebody who has even a semi-decent amount of spells that they're spamming. Mm-hmm. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it gives you the health back too.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I think Urn of Shadows is really good.
It's my favorite support item, so I'm definitely always going to be buying it.
It gives a decent amount of mana regen and the strength from, what is it, +6 strength?
Yeah,
the gauntlets.
Yep. So 114 health.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it is.
That's real nice. And let's see. What else, Jared?
From there, I mean, really, you can do whatever you want. You probably want to buy a mana boot.
Dota 2 Wiki is saying power treads are good.
You want to buy a mana boot.
Yeah, I think mana boot's going to be the way to go on him.
Yeah, just for your team in general too. Mm-hmm. If you're a support that uses any sort of mana, I mean, and most do.
Yeah, you want to go mana boot.
You want to buy a mana boot.
I think I generally prefer beyond that. I'd prefer to go. I don't think Mechanism is necessarily the way to go on him because you have a decent amount of healing already.
Right.
Though it's not bad.
It's not bad if no one else in your team makes sense to build one. Mm-hmm. I think that you're going to see Mechanism become more of a core item than a support item.
I agree.
Just because there's so much armor that you can get from it.
Yeah.
So like, we already are seeing like Vipers and Razors and like you were saying the Necrophos or what, a Necrolite, whatever.
Is it No, it's Necrophos now.
Phos, yeah.
Right?
Phos. Yeah.
I really like Yule's Scepter on Dazzle to help you kind of land some of those weaves. Like if there's somebody you really know you want to land a weave on.
Yeah.
I mean, the AoE for weave is already pretty big to begin with, but...
Well, you could weave them and then shoot them up to get their armor starting to go down.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's lots of options. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, any sort of support item is going to be great.
Necrobook's always a decent choice.
It's going to give you some HP.
Synergizes well with the Shadow Wave as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Although it'll, as we said earlier, it'll prioritize the heroes first. Let's see, what else, Jared? Is there anything else that you can think of?
I mean, Drum's Medallion.
I have had a newfound appreciation for Medallion of Courage.
It's great.
That thing, it costs barely anything.
Yeah.
And if you can cast it as like a ranged hero from far away, the downside of that thing, because you reduce your armor by 6, but also the target's armor by 6, correct?
I think it's 5.
5, whatever it is. The downside of that, like, is just non-existent for you.
Yeah.
So
it's very, very little.
It's really nice. Okay, so there's that.
No, you're right. It is 6.
It is. Okay, there you go.
Nice.
Look at it. That's like
Last
the first
7
time,
seconds.
That's like the first time I've ever been right about
Has that been changed recently?
Cost $10.75.
$10.75.
Yay! All right. Let's see. What else? I think.
Yeah, it's always been 6. Weird. Okay.
I think Drum of Endurance would be really good on him.
Well, yeah. Again, he's a bit of a fragile hero. He's an intelligence base, so.
Soul Ring is good on him.
Yeah.
Which is our item of the week. It's made from a Ring of Regen, a Sage's Mask, and a recipe. Gives you plus 3 HP regen and then plus 50% mana regen. Costs $800. Gives you the active ability Sacrifice. Consume 150 HP to temporarily gain 150 mana for 10 seconds. The cooldown on that is 30 seconds.
Yeah. This is a great item.
Love it. I love it. It's really good.
It's really, really good early game.
It used to not... That 150 mana, that used to not be temporary, right? Or has that always been like that? Yeah, I don't know. It builds into a Bloodstone. And
which is new.
Does it build into anything else?
No.
Okay.
But it's nice that it actually builds into something now. And it's something that you can actually use. Like before the Perseverance, when it built into Bloodstone, it was just kind of...
Yeah.
It was really nice because it gave you a lot of regen, but...
Right.
Meh.
Yeah, I like Soul Ring, especially on heroes that have a decent amount of HP, or you have some sort of heal on you to negate the HP.
Yeah, it's great on like Elder Titan.
Yeah, I like it on
Enigma.
I buy it like right off the bat if I'm playing Enigma.
Bane is another one that I usually buy it on.
Oh yeah,
because his freaking skills, man.
And Soul Ring's purple. So.
Yeah, they're just going with that.
Yes,
but his skills are crazy expensive. Can we just go back like mana intensive?
Oh yeah, you got to be careful.
God, Lord.
I do like Bane though.
I like Bane a lot too.
Yeah. Okay, so oh my gosh, Jared, I forgot. Okay, with Dazzle, recommend, do not recommend.
Oh yeah, oh no, I definitely recommend him. I think that he is a pretty solid hero.
Okay, I'm gonna give it one of these.
Yeah, these are definitely a buy.
And again, I think that pretty much any hero is viable right now.
Oh, I agree.
Aside from a couple.
Aside from Bloodseeker and Captain's Mode.
Yeah, which he's not anymore.
Yes.
So perfect.
Okay, Soul Ring. Do we like Soul Ring?
I think that he... I think that... Yeah, it's...
Soul Ring is a he now?
Yeah, absolutely. I gave it a gender. No, I think that it's a very good item. It's very cost effective. Only 800 gold. So I mean,
you do need to be careful with it, of course.
Yeah,
but the risk is kind of minimized because you're going to get that 150 HP back.
Yeah.
Or no?
No, wait. I don't think you do.
The mana is temporary. Excuse me. You don't get the health back.
Right.
So yeah. So if you have healing, it's a decent item.
Yeah. Make sure you use the mana because otherwise it's going away.
That's right. You lose it or no, use it or lose it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the kids are saying.
That's exactly what the kids are saying nowadays.
All right, we're gonna move on.
Perfect.
Oh, hold on. We're gonna hold on.
Frick.
We're moving on.
Hello.
Welcome to the dense and impenetrable web of systemic bullshit we collectively refer to as Dota.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bring in We Like Dota's man of the people, Mr. Cheeks of Flappin'. How's it going, Cheeks?
Oh, it's going. It's going just fine.
That's great.
It sounds great over there.
Pardon me, I wasn't ready for that. I apologize.
How are
I
things,
for some reason lost track, and I thought that we were still on item of the week, but I guess we just ended.
We kind of blew through it.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
How are things going in the chat room today?
Everything's going great in the chat. Today we've got, let's see, despite our early start, hashtag as is not tradition.
Yeah.
We've got about 4 dudes here in chat. We've got Ash Guyver. Right. We've got Bunny for the first time making his chat.
Welcome, Bunny.
Debut.
Welcome.
Administrator of the people.
That is right. And we got Hugh Jadouche in here, of course.
All right.
And Ownerism is back to correct us on everything we get wrong. So.
Perfect. Welcome back.
Literally everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's
let's
fair.
see. What have we been talking about today? We've been talking a little bit about the WLDL.
Good.
I saw that last Talon just posted the video of our match, so I posted it in the Twitch chat for everyone's enjoyment.
Perfect. Yeah, that's going to be great. You definitely want to watch that.
Thanks for that.
And then Hugh was making sure that he was getting his first round 1 point for the bye from Bunny. And then I was asking Bunny if we could have a bye for not knowing how to handle an offensive tri-lane. Bunny says yes, but your buy is worth 0 points.
Perfect. Thank you, Bunny. I'll take it. I'll take it.
A pity buy.
I'll take a pity buy for sure. Otherwise, we've been talking here. I put out a little notice. I posted the October Noobs Ask Noobs thread today on the Reddit.
Perfect.
Because just as the show was going, because I'm on top of things.
More so than I am.
And I've, as the curator, I've made an executive decision. I hope you don't mind.
Not at all. I support it completely.
Okay, I've made an executive decision calling for just any questions at all. They don't have to be Dota specific.
Oh boy.
Okay.
It could be life advice.
Yeah.
Could be hot Warcraft 3 strategies from Yadneb.
Yeah.
Ben was like top 40 in the world or something.
In pairs.
Yeah, in ranked pairs. Yeah.
I know, in ranked
doubles.
pairs. I didn't even know ranked pairs was a thing.
Yeah.
In doubles.
Yeah. It sounds like he was figure skating or something.
Because when I installed Warcraft 3 and started playing it, I was like, oh, this hero thing, this is never going to go anywhere. This game's dead.
Exactly. Dead game.
Welcome to our podcast.
So it's a good thing I'm not on the Brave New Meta feature.
Perfect.
Let's see, what else have we been talking about?
Are there any actual Noobs Ask Noobs questions this week?
Yeah, I've actually got some. Okay. We've got Ash Guyver's got a question, and of course Hugh Jadouche has multiple questions.
Oh boy!
One of which I'm going to address. Because he's here all day.
Resident censor of the podcast as well.
Thank you.
Exactly. He's the best joke writer. Mm-hmm. Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see here. Okay, are we ready to get into Noobs Ask Noobs?
Bring it on, brother.
If you are.
All right, here we go. Noobs Ask Noobs. My bumper for that.
Perfect.
Oh yeah. All right. I'm going to start off with Hugh's question, since I think we can answer it quickly.
Perfect.
Why does Lena have legs if she never walks?
That is a really good point.
I've never thought about that.
Because
and he had a follow-up question asking if they would be atrophied.
I would imagine.
That's what I think.
Yeah. I think of her more like now like an apparition, like kind of a ghost that floats.
Really?
But she doesn't look like it.
I have a theory.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What's that, Brian?
I think is maybe Lena like the anti-Lich? She's alive.
She's on fire.
She's on
very
fire.
fiery.
She's a woman.
Yeah.
Lich is presumably a male. Both are floating.
He seems sort of mummified to me too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of which Lena is not.
Yeah, Lena.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, I did a little lore.
Well, she's
digging.
the anti-crystal maiden as well.
Did you?
She's the anti-crystal maiden. She floats. Crystal maiden does not.
That is true
Exactly.
as well.
I don't know.
So I did some lore digging and came up with a theory as well.
Okay.
So apparently, I'm sure we know this, that Lena and Crystal Maiden are sisters.
Yes.
Okay.
And they were bitter rivals. Mm-hmm. And apparently Lena's a little bit more smart than Crystal Maiden. Smarter, Esther.
I could see that.
She's a little whereas Crystal Maiden is naive. Lena is more cunning.
Okay.
And so the parents finally decided that they shouldn't live together So Lena got sent away to somewhere that's really, really hot and has blazing sands, it says, quote, blazing sands.
Hence
and so I think
sandals.
because she's cunning, because she's smart, she's developed a way to float around because the sand was too hot to walk on.
Ah, okay.
That's fair.
That's
better
not
than
spelled out anywhere. And I'm sure that Last Talon is going to give me a lot of flack for this, but that's my guess.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense.
If we could just rename this segment to "How to Piss Off Last Talon lore-wise," I think we should go for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Last Talon. By the way, Last Talon, great job getting those videos up.
Oh,
those VODs of the We Like Dota matches. I still haven't watched all of them. I watched the first one and saw Busby just being a complete monster on Nagas Iron there, and
oh my gosh,
just making me even more apprehensive about ever having to face him ever again.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that's
Last
very
Talon,
exciting.
shout out to him. He's been helping do a lot of administration for the WLDL behind the scenes, and then also in front of the scene.
Yeah.
Also, he's been casting a lot. So, just thankful to have his help. And if you could give him a commend in game, that would be great.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Or some views on the YouTube.
Yes.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
And on the Twitch, for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so I actually have a question here.
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
That Ash Guyver, I'm assuming it's like MacGyver, but with Ash instead of meh. So I apologize if I'm saying that wrong.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yes.
When I was very young, I wanted to be MacGyver when I grew up. Because MacGyver was popular when I was a young lad. Mm-hmm. And I always tried to fashion gadgets out of...
He has a really weird first name, doesn't he?
Muck?
No.
What's his first name?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know it's weird, though.
But anyway,
I'm looking this up.
I had aspirations to be MacGyver when I grew up.
Really? Was it like a woman's name was his first name? It was like Ashley or Lindsay or
Kelly or
Eliza or something.
Kelly MacGyver. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead with the question.
Okay, here's the question. Noobs Ask Noobs. Was just wondering what you guys think of different key setups. I have a gaming mouse with 3 buttons mapped to powers 1 and 2 and ulti, so I remapped the map movement to WSAD, as I'm familiar with that as movement in others games. My items are mapped to ZXCYBN. Because of the buttons on my mouse, I usually only power up 2 out of the 3 powers unless passive and stack the rest into stats. This means I avoid heroes with more than 3 powers, as well as usually being slightly faster to level up the 2 that I focus on.
Okay.
Does your mouse and key setup affect your hero choice and playstyle? What are your setups, and do you think there are any advantages/disadvantages to having a vanilla key setup?
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was blown away that he actually based his build too, sort of on how he hotkeyed everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
and then, putting stuff in
I
stats.
will admit, the items that I buy are dependent on that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I likewise, I have some of my item keys set to my mouse keys. So I have two side thumb mouse keys or buttons that I use. So I always put a blink dagger or a force staff or Yules, anything that I'm gonna be using real quickly on that thumb that I can kind of get to quickly.
Right.
But I definitely the one critique I would have is, if at all possible, get away from the WSAD camera as much as you can, because it really, I think it hinders you a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too. Because he did say that he has 3 abilities on his mouse.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep, 3 buttons.
3 items, I think. So
3 buttons. Yeah.
That, I think it takes some of the argument away from what I argue for not doing WSAD for your camera.
Right, that's true, I guess.
You're doing so much with your left hand that you don't want to add in camera movement on top of that.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I totally understand that, because that's how when I started playing, that's the way I was doing it, was the WSAD. Just because that's what I was used to, because I came from first-person shooters like CS and stuff like that, where I was, controlling the map that way.
Yeah.
But once I got away from it, I there's so many more advantages to mousing around the map.
Yeah. It becomes a lot more natural too. Just as
it really does. Yeah, with some time.
I think.
But yeah, it definitely was a rough transition for me. That's for sure.
I'm personally of the belief that if it works for you, stick with it.
I agree with that, though. Yeah.
But I also do think that there might be certain caps or limits to, however faster you can become with using one style or the other.
And so be it.
But to me personally, and this is the biggest thing to me, if it's affecting who you're playing and how you're building those heroes, to me that's kind of a red flag that you want to change things up a little bit, because it just takes some of your options out of the game. Yeah.
But I mean, if you're comfortable with that, so be it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just playing casually, you're just doing all pick and just playing those heroes and having fun, then
by all means keep doing it.
Yeah, God bless you. Keep going with it.
Yeah, if you're having fun, honestly, it works for you, just do it.
But
that should be the goal.
If you're trying to play on a team like in the WLDL or something like that, and you're playing, you're wanting to play semi-competitively or within a shadow of competitiveness,
right?
Whatever the word is,
right? That's where we are technically.
Competition.
Yeah.
Hashtag competitiveness.
Competitiveness.
So you want to have your options available to you. So
yeah,
it's whatever. So just do whatever you want.
I play on a laptop with a trackpad, so I don't know what you guys are talking about.
You do?
Wait a minute.
Are you serious? We need to talk about this.
Minute. Why are you on our team?
Oh my gosh.
What?
Okay. Okay, I had some extra Amazon points laying around, and I bought a new mouse for Jared.
He did.
Would you like me to send you a mouse?
Cheeks. No, I'm joking.
I
kid.
Thank
Praise
God.
Jesus. I was going to be really impressed.
I usually have my mouse buttons linked to a couple of my item buttons. Mm-hmm. So like if I have a blink dagger or like a mech or a force staff or whatever, I usually like to use that for my active items and stuff.
Yeah.
Jared, I'm not actually sure he was kidding. I'm a little concerned. I'm a little worried, Jared.
It's all making.
I'm telling you, I just didn't know how to handle an offensive tri-lane. I honestly, that was it.
Yeah,
none of us
was the major issue.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Okay, what else do you got for us, Cheeks? Anything else?
Oh, okay, let's see. Well, actually, we had a question also from Ash Giver about talking about like maybe we should do like a call-in show. It was like a suggestion. It's like where we have some vetted community members calling in and asking questions, have a little time to chat about it. And I was thinking that we should wait until we get the Patreon thing hooked up so we can get those people who are our patrons in and talking to them.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
There we go.
Oh,
see, so we incentivize the patronage.
Yeah.
There's dark thoughts behind.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with it.
Oh, I'm ready to sell out as hard as possible.
All day. Yeah. If there's a way that I can sell out faster, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm in.
I'm right there with you.
I'm right there.
Yeah. Okay, what else do you got for us, buddy?
Okay, one more. I don't think you guys have... I don't recall. I don't think we did this one. Did you guys do this one? He was adamant that he didn't answer this question.
We
wanted to ask which Eagle song is superior. Did he already give this one?
Yeah, we already did this one.
Oh, okay. See, Hugh, you have to listen more regularly, buddy. So I can't do it now.
I don't think I answered this one.
I don't know if there is one.
Do you still want me to hit you with it?
Sure.
I'll let Jared
Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Which Eagle song is superior? The one that increases your agility to plus 33 or Hotel California?
Hotel California, because it's all about dead people.
Absolutely.
Is it? I thought it was about a hotel in California.
No. Is it? I don't know.
You can check in, but you can never leave.
Or is it about drug use? I think it's about drug use.
I'd imagine it's about drug use. It's probably heroin. Yeah, it's probably about heroin.
Heroin. Yeah.
Drugs. Dope, as they called it back then.
Dope. Smack.
Yeah. Dope.
Betty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yim Yam.
Yep. The white horse.
Right. Great. Now I'm going to have to put the NSFW tag on this one.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
By the way, MacGyver's first name was Angus.
Angus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did he play guitar for AC/DC?
Yeah. So it was a woman's name. Exactly.
That's why. Oh, Angus, not Agnes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I kind of like Agnes MacGyver better.
Agnes MacGyver.
Waiting for his father to give away his hand in marriage in the 1920s.
God.
All right. Anything else for us, Cheeks? What else do you got?
Oh, well, that's pretty much it. I just want to remind folks about October Noobs Ask Noobs. Remember, I'm serious about, not limiting the questions to Dota 2.
Oh,
let's get some interesting, spicy questions happening.
Boy. God. I don't know if I like where this is going.
I like to get spicy.
I think it could only make this segment more hot.
Oh yeah, some hot noob
HAWT.
Yes.
Yes.
Some super safe for work.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, Cheeks, where can we find you online?
You can find me at Twitter at Cheeks-a-Flappin', and I guess if you want to friend me on PS4 and shoot some caves, you can find me at it's Cheeks, which is Cheeks spelled all caps with each letter getting 2 letters. So it's CCHHEEEEKKSS.
So you're really making it like if people want to add you on PSN, they gotta really want it.
Yeah, they really gotta want to do it.
I appreciate your juvenility.
Absolutely.
Or whatever the word is. I can't talk today.
Hashtag juvenility, hashtag competitiveness.
Yeah. Competitiveness.
Jared, where can we find you online?
My Twitter handle is plus 3000 PLUS number 3000.
Wonderful.
And I will, like I said, hockey season's coming around, so it's usually my tweet heavy time.
Oh yeah.
As I am a huge hockey nerd and fan, so very excited.
Yep.
Blue Jackets 7-1 in the preseason. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Blue Jackets,
right to the bank.
Is that an NHL team?
Yeah.
Oh, you dang right, they're an NHL team.
NHL that I don't even know.
Yeah,
that's hockey. That's hockey. Cheeks.
They've only been around for 14 years, so
they have
since 2001.
Wow. Man, I have really been out of touch with hockey.
It's okay. Most people in America are.
Right. You can find me online with my personal Twitter account, twitter.com/byinger, BYINGER. Follow We Like Dota on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, and Twitch. We try to stick to 4 p.m. on Sundays as much as possible, but
every once in a while,
it changes. It changes.
Follow us on Twitter.
Generally, if you tune in at 4, something's going to be happening.
Yeah, totally.
We're recording right now.
Yeah, we are recording right now.
Yeah. Theme music is by Michael Edwards of the Flipping Tables podcast. The WLDL is happening. Will be happening Tuesday night. We're playing a match Tuesday night against
outside the normal hours
against the Huge Douches, and then Wednesday night and Friday night we'll be playing the rest of the group stages. So go to WeLikeDota.com and click on the We Like Dota League link,
or follow us on Twitch and get the alert when it comes up.
So go schedule your matches and do all that stuff. So thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next week.